Our main protagonist, called Shuichi, is a third-year high school boy who is quiet and reserved. He doesn't know why, but he feels compelled to turn down the opportunity to go to college. He is having a talk with his academic advisor, who asks him if he's found something he wants to pursue. Shuichi says yeah, I guess, but in his head, he knows that was a lie. Shuichi feels like being the same as everyone else makes him feel calm, as he finds being himself hard. While walking to gym class with his classmates, he stops when he notices a deceased dog. His friend asks him what's up, but Shuichi brushes it off and says it's nothing. After school, Shuichi realizes his eyes just seem to get better out of nowhere. He spots a fire in the distance, so he goes to check it out, and when he arrives, he has the feeling someone might be inside. This is where we meet our other protagonist, called Claire, who is a young girl looking for her sister who became a monster. Shuichi has a flashback of the dog he saw before, and says, "There's a beast inside me." He then begins transforming into this strange, monstrous form of a dog for the first time. That gives him superhuman abilities. He thinks of all the things he could transform into. Why a stuffed animal? However, he focuses again on the task at hand and manages to save Claire. He lays her on the grass outside when his animalistic tendencies begin to kick in, and just when it looked like he was about to do the unthinkable, the real him realizes what he was about to do, and he goes back to being human. He leaves the place while Claire is still unconscious, but forgot his cell phone. The next day, Claire suddenly approaches Shuichi at his locker. She says, "This is your phone, isn't it? Mind if I ask you some questions? I can't help but be curious about a monster like you," leaving Shuichi dumbfounded. Later, he finds Claire on the roof to get his phone back. Upon walking up to her, she says, "There you are, monster." Shuichi says he has no idea what she's talking about, and he just wants his phone back. Claire says, "I guess I made a mistake," and places the phone down for him to retrieve. But when Shuichi goes to pick it up, she kicks him off the roof, giving him no choice but to transform into the monstrous dog. He super jumps back onto the roof, where Claire says, "You're more handsome in this form." She then goes on to blackmail him, saying that she will tell everyone that he's a monster, unless he tells her more about how he achieved this form. Shuichi panics and swears he doesn't know anything, and that it all just happened out of nowhere. While walking home together, Claire formally introduces herself, and tells him that she's in first year, which surprises Shuichi, as he's older by 2 years. She pulls out a gold coin, and asks him if he knows what it is. He says, "I've never seen it before," and Claire goes on to say it seems to be related to you monsters somehow. When they get to Claire's home, she informs him that she's the only one who lives here. She begins getting changed right in front of Shuichi, making him uneasy. While they're talking, a girl called Hikawa suddenly appears looking for the coin, who can also transform into a monster. Claire reveals the coin and says, "Since you're looking for it, you must know what it is. Care to share?" The girl then grabs Claire and holds a knife to her face, demanding her to hand over the coin. While all this was going on, Shuichi transforms into the giant monster dog and saves Claire. As Claire interrogates Hikawa, she begins transforming too, and even manages to get out of Shuichi's hold. But just when she was about to kill him, Claire sprays something in her eyes and tells Shuichi to finish her. However, he decides to pick Claire up and escape from the situation. We discover that Hikawa used to be a nice girl, but after getting dropped from the running team, she became desperate and depressed for losing the chance of a sports scholarship. After obtaining a coin and getting her wish granted, she was able to return to the team, but started to transform, ending up with monstrous arms and legs. However, if anyone saw her like that, she wouldn't be able to be in the team anymore, so she desperately began searching for another coin to get another wish, and was even ready to kill for it. We also find out that this guy, who goes by the name Alien, is looking for these coins that got spread around after a crash, and upon bringing them to him, he will grant any wish. The coins were his comrades, other aliens that had no physical form and had turned themselves into a compressed data, the coins. Once they go somewhere, they would transform into the ideal form for that planet. Hikawa loses her mind after losing Shuichi and Claire, as she needs the coin to get another wish, so she goes searching for them. Meanwhile, Claire discovers that the stuffed body has a zipper on the back. She says it must mean something and opens it, but is surprised to see nothing is inside. Claire asks if she can go inside, but Shuichi is on edge to the idea. However, Claire says it's worth a try, and that the emptiness inside means they must become one. She goes all the way in and begins to feel Shuichi's sadness, anger, and anxiety, but says he hasn't realized how strong he is, so she will use that strength. Shuichi agrees, and just then, Hikawa shows up. She screams, "Where is the B word?" while kicking the stuffed animal, not knowing Claire has now merged with it. Inside, Claire tells Shuichi to let her handle the movement, and for him to focus channeling his strength to her. They then use their great mobility plus the force of the transformation to destroy Hikawa, and then with the gun from the costume which they thought was a toy, finish her. her. A week goes by, and Shuichi is still bothered by the incident because he didn't want to kill anyone. However, Claire says things happen and that it was a legitimate act of self-defense. She also reveals that one day, her sister became one of these monsters and murdered her own parents, but no one believed her. She promises Shuichi that if something happens, she'll die with him. To which he says, "What if I want to die right now?" Claire says alright, then attempts to jump to her death, but Shuichi saves her once again. In Shuichi's arms, she tells him that they were brought together by destiny, and that she has the goal of meeting her sister again, which is why she's so obsessed with people who transform. The following day, they go to the supermarket for some food and water and stay in an abandoned building near where Claire's parents died, waiting for someone with a smell similar to her sister's to come. Eventually, Shuichi picks up a scent he recognizes. Claire rushes over with the camera and notices it's none other than her sister, called Elena. Shuichi smells a tremendous stench of blood coming from her uniform, and just breathing it in seems to weigh him down. Claire says they're going to capture her and suggests they shoot her so she can't move. Shuichi is shocked that Claire is willing to do this to her own sister, but Claire says she has killed many people and she is a murderous demon. Claire goes inside Shuichi and they wait for Elena to pass. When she goes by, Claire attempts to shoot her, but at the last moment, Shuichi stops her, making the bullet miss her head by an inch. Elena then transforms and instantly goes behind them. However, she doesn't seem to do anything and even began to apologize. She says, "You've come to kill me, haven't you? Mind if we do it somewhere else?" They then walk to a quiet place where no one is around, and just when they're about to shoot Elena, Claire makes a noise from inside Shuichi. Elena hears this, so she immediately transforms and rips the head off the stuffed animal, revealing Claire inside. Claire goes insane and tries to shoot her sister as she thinks Shuichi is dead. However, she is no match for Elena. Claire asks why she killed mom and dad, to which Elena explains that they were bad people. Elena then gives her a coin and tells her she has to take it to a vending machine, where she meets Alien, who takes the form of any living being, and for that reason, he no longer remembers his true appearance. After fixing Shuichi, he also reveals that if someone brings him 100 coins, it will give them incredible power, with which they would be able to dominate or destroy the world if they wanted to, which is why there are many people crazy about finding the coins. After hearing this, Shuichi becomes more aggressive at school. His classmates notice he is more serious and that he no longer wears glasses. However, no one wonders why he has a scar around his neck, but we know it's from Elena removing his head while he was transformed. The following day, Shuichi and Claire go looking for the coins, when they end up running into this guy who is twice as big. His name is Tadanori, and he reveals that he isn't interested in the coins, but is looking for gatherers to fight, as he wants to see how strong he really is. Shuichi and Claire manage to defeat Tadanori, gaining his respect, and they end up joining forces, as Claire suggests the three of them together could find the coins. While they're talking, another monster suddenly appears. However, Tadanori swiftly cuts it in half. Claire takes the deceased monster's cell phone and discovers that he was a stalker who went around taking pictures of other coin gatherers and blackmailed them by threatening to expose their identities. But thanks to that, they discover a group of gatherers who are collecting the coins so that they do not fall into the wrong hands. Here we have the leader of the group, called Sayaka, a young man called Yoda, the invisible girl called Miku, a young boy called Isao, a young girl called Chihiro, and the cameraman called Akuchi. In order to join the group, they must make a pact with the leader. That is, they must wear this choker made out of her hair, and if they somehow betray her, they would automatically die. Sayaka reveals that they are looking for Claire's sister, and finds it hard to believe that she killed her own parents. Meanwhile, Shuichi makes friends with Chihiro, who wanted to be a veterinarian, and because of that, in her monster form she grew fox ears where she is able to hear and feel the feelings of animals. They go together in the forest to look for her wallet, as it has her ID in it, so if a bad person finds it, things wouldn't be so good for her. To save time from getting tired every 2 steps, she goes inside Shuichi, but the cameraman gets jealous because he is in love with her, so he harasses them from afar until he loses sight of them. He goes back to the base, where he tells Yoda that he left with his crush, so they go to look for them as it's been a long time and they still haven't come back. But when they find them, they see them both unconscious. We find out that while the two were looking for the wallet, they encountered this blonde girl, who transformed and literally crushed them. However, Shuichi and Chihiro merge, thanks to his transformation ability that allows him to merge with another monster. And after an intense fight, they almost manage to kill the blonde girl, almost because Elena arrives to save her. The next day, the group go to look for Alien's spaceship, where the majority of the coins are supposed to be, but they end up being ambushed by another group of gatherers. They try to evade them, but one in the shape of a centipede catches up and starts violating the leader. However, Yoda goes savage mode and breaks his jaw, saving Sayaka. They keep running until the leader appears with the rest of his group. They threaten them that if they don't collect coins for him, they will kill everyone. but if they accept, one of them must be sacrificed for hurting his centipede. They then start making a plan and ask this guy to use his ability to make some flowers grow that when burned generate toxic smoke, which not only kills the leader of the bad gatherers, but also his comrades. We then see Elena talking to her group about a guy who apparently collected 100 coins, but he is protecting the spaceship from other collectors, and who is an old friend of Elena's. We also discover that Shuichi and Elena were boyfriend and girlfriend in their childhood, and not only that, his old classmates, called Hanaka, Eiko, Kaido, and Naoto, were all best friends. But when they grew up, Eiko committed suicide because she couldn't stand her life. Hanaka was the first to find out about it, and since she was also the first to find the alien, she came up with the idea of the coin hunt game. And in return, the alien granted her wish to take on Eiko's appearance, so that no one would notice that Eiko had committed suicide. She did this as she thought no one would notice she was gone, but Kaido did, as he was in love with her, so he began to investigate her disappearance. At first, he thought Hanaka killed Eiko so she could become her, and be with her boyfriend, so Kaido ended up killing her, but later, he finds out that Eiko's suicide was voluntary. So he became very depressed and guilty after finding out he killed Hanaka under false circumstances. Kaido then used a coin to ask Alien to bring her back to life in some way, and thus, after being revived by Kaido, she became a dangerous abomination seeking to end the world. And so to speak, the ghost became the guardian of the ship, where she murders all those who seek to gather 100 coins. In addition to that, Kaido's deadly bond with Hanaka makes him murder all those who were related to them. And for this reason, Elena had erased Shuichi's entire childhood memories. We also find out that Hanaka was the one who murdered her parents, and then wanted to murder Shuichi, so she erased his memories to leave him out of everything since she loves him. Here we see that Chihiro and Elena reached an agreement to hand over the coins, so they could end the game. And just then Shuichi appears. Meanwhile, Claire was investigating the past and arrived at their old school, where she finds a stuffed animal identical to Shuichi's transformation, which makes him recover all his memories, sending him into a rage. They begin to fight it out until Hanaka's ghost arrives, to do what she couldn't do before. So Elena erases Shuichi's memory again to eliminate the bond. After that, Shuichi and Claire decide to help Elena to finish the game, and this brings the anime to an end. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.